welcome to this episode of WN Stuff. If you've been following along, we are jumping right into Chapter 3 of 5 Years Later by the Ink Tank, okay? A little bit of a speed run to catch us back up. So, the first chapter was more of a Danny Phantom chapter. The second chapter was more of a Ben 10 chapter, but now they're together. And the third chapter picks up right where we left off, which was a younger, stronger Vlad waiting for them. This, of course, is a little bit confusing for Danny because he doesn't know how he got there. And, of course, a little bit confusing for Ben because he hasn't had to fight against an enemy really with these types of powers. So a fight does ensue. This fight's actually really cool because we get to see quite a few aliens. We get to see Slingshot, Forearms, Ben's starting to realize, this guy is pretty strong, okay? And Danny is also very upset because he thought that he had finally gotten rid of Vlad, so seeing him here and then also seeing him like, wow, after all this time, you still only want this one thing. Have you not learned anything? In Danny's rage, we get to see what appears to be a different form, I suppose, where he goes just completely engulfed in flames. And for someone that's really been out of the crime fighting business, I'm not gonna lie to you, Danny's, other than him getting drained by using his powers, which Vlad is kind of expecting in his game plan, as we'll find out later, Danny's doing pretty good. And I don't know if part of that just has to do with how energized he is by the fact that he's having to fight Vlad, but either way, we are brought into a heck of a fight. During the fight, we notice that Vlad doesn't really appear to have any motive, or he really doesn't want anything. It looks like he's literally just here to fight. And Danny even tries to question him during, to which now we're not getting any answers out of Vlad. He said, well, we'll talk another time. Right now, let's just do what we're doing. Which, to me, a little suspicious. In the middle of their fight, we notice that not only has Danny picked up kind of a power-up, but also in Vlad's time away, he also has learned, like, the Ghost Screech, which kind of catches Danny off guard because he's like, how did you learn that? And he's essentially like, I've been away for 5 years. 5 years, screams in his face. Very cool. During the fight that is continuing to ensue, we see a couple more aliens like Slampede and Chromastone from Ben, but otherwise, he's kind of not able to do much in the fight. This is mostly a Danny v. Vlad fight. He's trying, but he's noticing that some of the aliens that he thought would work at, like, taking energy and reflecting it or doing whatever aren't necessarily working in this fight. So he has to kind of revert to, give me some time, hold off Vlad for the amount of time that you can with the power that you have, because he knows, everybody here pretty much knows that Danny is running on a limited time of his power, and I'm going to get people out of the way and stuff like that. While Danny and Vlad are zooming all over the city, so is Accelerate. He's running around, gathering up people and whatnot. That being said, Danny still has to protect somebody from, like, something falling on them, super drained. People are, like, taking pictures of him, wondering, is this another Ben form? What's going on? I like the little touches like that in this comic. We get to the point in the fight where Danny's actually able to construct a sword and is able to do some pretty serious damage to Vlad, but we see he's not able to do enough as he's still thrown to the ground. He's super drained, and Vlad is pretty much on top for the killing blow. Unfortunately for him, Ben would then show up because this was that time that Ben needed, and they are now in a very open space, kind of like a desert type environment where nobody has the potential of getting hurt, where now Gravitack grabs him and holds him and is like, okay, I'm definitely going to hold him because you can't escape gravity, not even if you're a ghost. Of course, now that Vlad is actually being held down, that's whenever Danny, now pretty much in human form because of how drained he actually is finally trying to get some answers. So, of course, his first question is going to be, how did you... But before the question can get answered, we see that Vlad, now in a time stop that nobody can see other than the mystery character from our other chapter. He was even confused how he has escaped. But, you know, frozen in time, gravity, you understand the science behind that. The mystery character asks, how was your reunion? The title of our book, very cool. And he says, my suit tore, and he says, we'll get you another one. He then says, come with me to meet my other associates. They go through a portal where they disappear. And now we're back to normal time, and both of them, Danny and Ben, are both very confused at how he got away, because he really shouldn't have been able to escape gravity. Then we jump back to Plumber HQ, where a couple of surprise characters reveal themselves. For what reason, I have no idea. But Gur and Invader Zim. So Gur cuts his way out of the side of the HQ, and a little hologram of Invader Zim pops up, and Invader Zim asks whether or not Gur was successful, to which Gur responds, yes, master. Then Invader Zim says, okay, I'm going to be sending you transport. Then Gur goes to walk through the portal to where, I don't know. This much I will say, I don't know if this means anything, but the color of the portal happens to be the same color as what we saw with the Time Walker. So maybe these could be a couple of the associates that the Time Walker was talking about. So that's the end of the reunion. That was a really good chapter. I feel like the first chapter was Danny, the second chapter was Ben, and the third chapter was now fighting Vlad. Very fight-heavy chapter, but it also put a bunch of questions out there, like, why are we seeing Invader Zim? Who is the Time Walker? Why does Vlad not do anything besides just kind of go and fight? So it sets up a lot of things that I'm sure will be answered in the upcoming chapter. Fight chapter, while also setting up a lot for the future. Very good. Did you like that or this or any of this? Leave a like. If you dislike that or any of this, be sure to leave a dislike, just if you hate me or whatever. And until next time, WN stuff. Hopefully, I will get to see some of y'all in Chapter 4. I'm really enjoying doing these, and I'm going to try to be consistent as I can with uploads and whatnot. So I hope all of you have a wonderful day. WN stuff. Woo!
Started way back with my tragic anime backstory. That's what handcrafted me to go reach all of my glory. Always concentrate on moments and momentum mori. Drag up and I'm counting memories like it's inventory. I ain't got no time to